The market eagerly awaiting Apple's earnings. Angelo Zino, equity analyst at S&P Capital IQ, joins me. Angelo, let's talk about the numbers first. Sales growth expected to jump more than 20% to over $51 billion. What's driving the gains for Apple?
Yeah, it's going to be clearly iPhone sales. So we're looking for iPhone sales of about 47 million here for the quarter. So around where we saw the June quarter, but to your point, it's going to drive top line growth north of 20% in our view. We're looking at EPS of about $1.87 per share for the quarter.
So when you look at the latest iPhone, how much run can Apple get out of this? How many more quarters will we see that kind of growth?
Yeah, so when we look at the iPhone here, the iPhone 6 pretty much has allowed 27% of the, at least through the June quarter, about 27% of the iPhone user base has upgraded to the iPhone 6. So we think there's a lot of room left to grow here, as we launch the iPhone 6s back in late September. So for the December quarter, we think that they're much better positioned today, especially with leasing programs recently rolling out as well. So there's a lot of moving parts here for Apple, and we think that the comps are going to get much more difficult over the next 2 quarters, but nonetheless, we think they're positioned pretty well.
So this sounds like the key driver, but what else will we learn in that earnings report about some of the other Apple products?
Well, when we think about the earnings report here, iPhone will clearly be the biggest takeaway, followed by gross margins and the outlook. But from a product perspective, what we're looking for is outside of iPhones, you've got the Mac product line and the iPad product line. They're both about 9% of total revenues each. For the most part, we see stabilization on the Mac side of things. Tablets will continue to see steep year-over-year declines. However, there's a new product ramp for the larger screen iPads coming in November. We think that will start to help stabilize their revenue base on that end of things. So better times ahead for the iPad, just not in this quarter.
What about the Apple Watch? Are we expecting any breakout yet of that product? Last time it was all kind of lumped in and we couldn't get a good read of what was happening with it.
Yeah, we would expect the Apple Watch to continue to be lumped in. I mean, Apple's reasoning is they just don't want to give away any actual numbers to their competitors. However, when we look at the Apple Watch here, where there was a bit of a lull over the summer months as we expected, we do expect for sales to start picking up here into the holiday season, as well as through an expansion of their distribution channel, as now they're expanding into Best Buy and other outlets. So overall, we do see better times ahead for the Apple Watch, and we do think it's going to be a tailwind for the company as we enter into the latter months of the year.
Angelo, how about Apple TV?
Apple TV won't be a needle driver for the company right now. I think it's going to be something to keep an eye out for, especially over a longer term basis. I mean, Apple is clearly looking to expand into the living room, and I think the Apple TV was actually a great product launch for them. I think it's a good initial step for them to eventually roll out some new product offerings, a TV streaming service in calendar year 2016, and potentially even an Apple TV somewhere down the road. So I do love the prospects attached to the Apple TV in the living room. Just not going to be a needle driver here right now.
Is that one of the reasons, though, why you see this stock with some room to run? I know you've got a price target 12 months out with a pretty significant gain in Apple from where we are now. Yeah,
absolutely. So when we look at Apple here, I think investors need a kind of, they can't be nearsighted in nature. I think you look at the stock here, the pullback represents a great buying opportunity, we think, for investors now trading less than 10 times net cash. So overall, you look at the long-term business prospects, you look at the valuation, and that really presents a great opportunity, we think, here for investors.
Angelo Zino, S&P Capital IQ. Good to talk to you again. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
I'm Rhonda Schaffler for The Street.